So welcome to Be Abundant Moves and this class, which is Chi Yoga. And it's a combination of my practice. I bring to my yoga practice Qigong movements and acupressure and all things Chinese medicine, because that's my day job as well as being a yoga instructor. So today's class, I'll just give you a little bit of how I envision our format running. I'm seated on a chair. You're welcome to sit on a chair. You can also sit on the floor. And if you are on the floor, I would invite you to use a rolled up towel or blanket or cushion just to sit under your sits bones to take that pressure off of keeping your back up straight. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the 5 elements in Chinese medicine and how they're going to be used in our practice today. And then we are going to, we're going to touch ourselves. We're going to do some acupressure. So we're going to press on acupoints and meridians and wake up our chi and our energy in our body, get things moving and balanced. And then we're going to flow through some yoga poses that are akin or matched with the 5 elements. Then we're going to stand up and we're going to do some Qigong movements for the 5 elements. And then maybe wrap up with a few sun salutation variations just to close our practice and then rest in Shavasana. So with that, let's begin coming into a comfortable seat. So maybe wiggling your hips, your shoulders, feeling your feet on the ground, the connection to the ground. And finding your breath, whether that's taking a big, deep breath in and out. Maybe feeling like doing that again. And then just breathing your own way. Whether that's through your nose, your mouth, or both. Feeling your breath in your body. And as you breathe, give yourself permission to be here right now for the next hour, exploring your practice. Taking this time for your body, your breath, your needs. And as you continue to breathe, see if you can notice any place or places in your body that are asking for your attention. It pops into your awareness. See if taking a few breaths into those places help you relax, settle, and give your body the attention it needs. With your next few exhales, feel yourself even settle into your surface, whether it's the chair or the floor, wherever you are. See if you can settle a little deeper. Let go maybe another %. And as you continue to just breathe and rest and center in this moment, we're going to talk a little bit about the 5 elements. In Chinese medicine, we have 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, water. And these elements work with each other. They support each other. And they also help to control each other so that they do not get out of balance. And why are the 5 elements important to me? Because the Chinese see the body as a little world. They see it with seasons within these elements and optimal times and ways of function. So, one of the first things I want you to do is I want you to think about the element earth, or just even the word earth. We're going to start by just doing a little bit of play. We're going to play around a little bit with this concept of the elements. So when you think about earth, where do you feel that in your body? What does earth feel like in your body? Where do you feel earth? How does earth feel to you? And if that means making a movement or shifting your movement into a different pose or place, then just do that. For me, earth feels like Tadasana in yoga. It feels like I want to stand and I want to connect my feet to the ground. That's what earth feels like. When I hear the word earth, I feel roots. I think about my feet. And that's what earth feels like to me. So wherever you are, in whatever earth feels like to you, just take a few breaths here. Feeling that earth energy. The earth element in Chinese medicine is associated with our stomach and our spleen, those organs and those meridian pathways. They're all about sweetness in life and not worrying, not overthinking things, finding a place of calmness. See if those characteristics make sense to you. See if you can be aware of them in your body. And then next, I want you to think about the element fire. Maybe you right away see a fire. Maybe it's a campfire. Maybe it's a fire from a match. Maybe it's a big fire. Maybe it's a small fire. Maybe it's just heat, or maybe it's just the color red. Whatever fire invokes in you, see where you can experience or feel that in your body. For me, I feel like, oh, I'm hot. And I just want to open my chest and imagine I'm standing under a waterfall, lifting my chin up and feeling that water just rushing over me, cooling me down. Taking a couple breaths here. Fire element in Chinese medicine is all about the heart and its partner organ, small intestine. It has to do with sifting, sorting. It also helps with sleep. So once you've explored those, got a little sense of how that feels in your body, Then just come back to your comfortable seat or however you are resting to start class. And take a big deep breath in and out. All of our elements are associated with organs, are associated with meridians. And so we're going to start with a simple exercise called tapping, which is basically acupressure. And we're just going to balance all the meridians in our body. So the first one we're going to start with is our wood element. The wood element is liver and gallbladder. It works with the insides, primarily the insides of our legs and the outsides of our body, or the sides of our body. So every time we move into a sideways stretch, we're working with that gallbladder energy and liver energy. And those are the meridians and the organs of wood. But there's another important job. Liver has to move our chi. Whenever we're stuck, whenever we have pain, whenever we're not feeling well, we want to move our liver chi. So we're going to start with an acupoint. So between your big toe and your second toe, right on the top of your foot, you can take your index finger and just slide down to the bone, to where the bones meet, and just press. Take 3 deep breaths. And then just repeat that on the other side. Taking your index finger, sliding it between your big toe, second toe, right on the top of the foot. 3 deep breaths, activating our chi, our liver chi, the primary mover. It's like the gas that runs a car. So in our bodies, this chi moves, animates, and keeps our body in balance. So take a couple breaths here. Might be sore, that's okay. And then just release. So if you're seated, you can also just come into a slight butterfly pose, or you can just keep your legs here. We're going to start by tapping up. This is going to tap our liver, also our spleen and kidney meridians. And then we're going to tap down the sides of our legs along the gallbladder meridian. So we're just going to start by tapping up and down the sides. There's no special way to breathe, just as long as you are breathing, whatever that looks like for you. Then the next time that you come up the liver meridian or the inside of the leg, just pause, come to rest, notice your body, notice your breath. We talked about that earth energy, and there's a point right here on your shin. If you slide your hands up your shin below your knee, so here's my hand on my knee, right below it, there's a little divot. That's called stomach 36, Zushanli, or the 3-mile point. This is an energizing point. If you're feeling tired, if your legs feel tired, if you just want a little bit of digestive energy even, you can just tap stomach 36. So make a loose fist. 3 deep breaths and just tap. And rest. Keep noticing what you're experiencing in your body, what changes, what's happening. Our lung and large intestine belong to the metal element. It's kind of an odd element, but it has everything to do with our immunity, or as I call it, immunity. So our lung element actually starts here in the chest, right in the pec area. It comes down and ends at the thumb. And then large intestine starts at the other side of the thumb. And it comes in here. You know, this point is a popular point for headaches and pain. You don't want to use it if you're pregnant, but we're going to use it large intestine 4. We're just going to massage in there right between the thumb and the index finger. 3 deep breaths. You can press, hold. I find that more and more people are having, this point is tender, and I think it's mostly because we're on our devices a lot more since the pandemic. So our thumb muscles get a bit tight. And then just do the other side, right on top, just like liver 3, we came down between the big toe and the index and the second toe, and large intestine 4, we come right down between the thumb and the index finger. Beautiful. Now we're going to make little bird beaks. So all of our fingers, if they can, come to the thumb. If that doesn't feel comfortable, loose fists work just as good. And then we're going to tap. So right, if you take your arm like in a cactus shape, so right where if you were to grab your pec muscle, so right where my thumb is about lung 1, lung 2 area. So with bird beaks, I'm going to tap the lung 1, 2 area and take 3 deep breaths. And then slowly release your hands. Make an L shape. So an L shape with your thumb and your index finger. And then just press out to the side. So if you were looking at the right side, you would see your thumb and index finger, on the left side. Beautiful. Just stretching the lung and large intestine meridian, taking 3 deep breaths. And slowly releasing your arms back to a neutral position. I like to take 3 deep breaths all the time. Doesn't mean you need to, so breathe however is comfortable for you. So in the tapping in the inner leg, we got our earth element with spleen. We got liver element, liver meridian, wood. We also got our gallbladder here and stomach tapping here. Metal, we have large intestine and lung. So we've got that. The last is water. And water element is the bladder and kidney, and it runs all the way down the back of the body. Okay. So for that, I think I'm going to stand for that. I'm going to get rid of my chair for now. You're still welcome to sit if you wish. Okay. And then in the back, I'm just going to tap the bottom to like right behind my knees and then tap back up. Then hamstrings. And then I'm going to come up to my low back and loose fists and just tap the kidneys. And then release. Take a nice deep breath. So the other cool thing about Chinese medicine is our lungs and our kidneys work together. Whenever we take a breath in, we inhale what's called Wei Qi. Wei Qi is our protective qi, our immunity, and our kidneys have to grasp that qi, and then they distribute it to the body. So let's do one more little bit of tapping exercise. And this is, I'm going to start with ghost sleeves. So just imagine you have a trench coat over your back, and your sleeves of your trench coat are your arms. So when you just move a little side to side, your sleeves of your coat move. And then we can add that tap in to that lung, right? And then we can also tap the kidneys in the back. So I love cat-cow pose in my practice. And this is like the cat-cow of Qigong for me. Almost every time I practice Qigong, I love to do this movement. So see if it feels good for you. And then just let your arms come back to those ghost sleeves and come to stillness. And maybe take a shape that feels comfortable while you stand. And just notice your body, notice your breath, notice any changes. So one of the shapes for our wood element is actually stretching on the sides of the body. So taking your feet, you can have them hips distance apart if that's good for you. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch to get in the insides of the legs a little bit more, you can take your legs a little bit wider. You can also remain seated, legs together or wider. And then we're just going to move our right arm up and we're going to come over to the left. Or just stay here as long as you feel comfortable, noticing the side body. Noticing where you're feeling this pose. Maybe the ribs or the armpit. Maybe you feel it all the way down your leg. And then slowly come back to the center, pause for a breath or two. And then repeat on the other side. Bring your left arm up. And then just come over to the other side. Notice how this makes you feel in the body. And then slowly come back up to center. And then bring your feet back into whatever's comfortable for you. And then either seated, kneeling and tabletop, or you can even do standing. We're just going to roll a little bit into a cat pose. Knees are slightly bent. Chin drops towards your chest if that's comfortable, rounding the upper back. And then as we press into our feet, roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades, open the heart, and then round again. And slowly move. Whatever cat-cow feels good for you. Seated, standing, kneeling. Tuning in to how your body's feeling this moment. And next time you come into your cat, just slowly press into the feet, roll back up, come back into your neutral pose. Connect with your breath. Notice how your body's feeling. And then let's work a little bit with a twist. So we're going to just inhale our arms up, and we're going to exhale. I'm going to take my left hand and just tuck it right behind me. And then I'm just going to bring my right arm over to wherever it lands on my body, looking over my shoulder. Taking a few deep breaths here. Twisting activates the metal elements, our lung and large intestine. Notice your breath. See how that feels in your twist. And then inhale and come back to the center, arms come out straight, and then just twist to the other side. Settling in, looking over your shoulder, noticing how your body feels. Notice if there's any little adjustments that you need to make in your body. I need to take my feet a little wider here to feel grounded in my feet. That feels good for me. Notice what adjustments you might need to make. And then just begin to make these movements on your own with your own breath. Just twisting to one side, settling in, staying as long as you want or as little as you want, and then twisting to your other side. Notice how one side might feel compared to the other side. And what does twisting feel like for you today? How's your ribs feeling? And then slowly come back into that neutral position again. Always checking in with your body, noticing its changes, listening to what it's telling you. And then that bladder meridian water, the water element, the back of the body. Let's just do a few forward folds. So you can do a seated forward fold or a standing forward fold. So find that place where your feet feel nice and grounded, feeling connected to your mat or your whatever surface you're on. And then bend your knees slightly, and then maybe just start to roll down forward, only as far as you're comfortable. You can use blocks here too if you want, just letting your hands rest on the blocks, letting the crown of your head reach towards the mat. And then just noticing the whole back of the body, from the bottoms of your feet, all the way up the backs of the legs, all the way up the back, maybe even the back of the neck and head. Bladder meridians are longest meridian. It actually starts in the corner of our eye and ends at the baby toe. Notice how your back is feeling this morning. And then using your feet, keeping that bend in your knees, just press your feet into the mat and slowly roll back up from your forward fold, rolling your shoulders back. Stepping into that neutral pose again and noticing how you're feeling. Looking for any changes, any cues that your body might be giving you. Wonderful. So let's move into a little bit of a Qigong practice. And so we're just going to do a Qigong movement for each of the 5 elements. So the first one we're going to start with is the wood element. And so we did a little bit of tapping on that, the inner leg and the outer leg. So our Qigong movement is going to look like this. we're going to step out to the side. We're going to make that little bend, and we're going to slide in the inner thighs, come right into the groin area, and then up the side of the body. So we're tracing liver, gallbladder, and then as we exhale, or as you move down, your middle finger is going to come right in the center of your IT band. That's gallbladder 41. And then we're going to step that leg together, and then we're going to start on the other side. I'm going to step out to the left, trace that liver meridian all the way up, and then slide down to the middle of your thigh, and step the left foot in, and step the right foot out, and slide up and down. So while you practice this, you can think about things that are related to the wood element. So we already know it's the liver and gallbladder. Those are our organs. And the other things are the season. The season of wood is springtime. The emotions are anger, irritability, frustration. So we kind of want to replace those feelings if we can, or think about maybe releasing anger, irritability, frustration. So moving with your breath, tracing liver and gallbladder meridian. And just an invitation, if you are feeling frustrated, stuck, angry, this might be a great movement for you to practice. One more time, and then we're going to come back to rest in our center. And take our left hand, so females, take a left hand or a yin hand on the dantian right below the belly button, and then the right hand on top. And take a couple deep breaths. And just notice. Our next element is fire. So we're going to do a fire Qigong movement. Our heart meridian begins right in the armpit, and it traces down to our pinky finger. And then small intestine begins on the other side of the pinky finger and comes all the way up and actually ends by our ear. So this Qigong movement is we're going to start by stepping out, and we're going to bring those pinkies together or towards each other, and we're going to reach up, and then we're going to flip our hands so that the backs of the hands come together, and we're going to come right through the center of the body down to the earth, making a little squat, and then release. The right foot comes back in, the left foot steps out, pinkies come together, reach up and bend down. And then slowly come to center, step the left foot in, and just keep moving side to side, bringing that beautiful fire energy down into the heart space. And release. So the fire element is associated with the summertime. I already said the fire element is the heart and small intestine. And the emotions are joy. And when it's out of balance, it can leave us with a sense of anxiety. Heart in balance feels joyful, but not overly joyful, like you're giddy joyful. It's just you feel joy. You feel a sense of happiness. Last time, let's step out to the left or the right, wherever you're at. And when we come back up, again, just rest your hands on the dantian, feeling your beautiful fire energy, your fire chi. And then we'll move to earth. So earth, for me, I really associate it with my feet and feeling grounded and feeling earthy in my legs feel like earth to me. So the next one that we're going to do, it's called reaching for the moon. And so basically we want to have our legs maybe a little wider than hips distance apart. And I always keep a bend in my knees. So a little bend in your knees. And then we're just going to look behind us and imagine that we're taking a big beach ball and we're just reaching behind us. So you'll notice this knee bends a little bit. This knee doesn't bend a little bit. Reach behind us. And then we come back to the center. And then we're going to reach over to the other side. So we're making a little bend with our knees. When we move to the right, our right knee bends. When we move to the left, your left knee may bend. And just imagine you're reaching for the moon. And so earth is our change of season element. It's mostly that time in between or right after summer before we go into autumn. It can also be the time between our changes of every season. And like I said, it's all about sweetness. And it's all about not overthinking or worrying. So that's a tall order for me, not to worry or overthink. So in earth element in balance, I try to just practice letting go. Letting go. So this is a nice Qigong movement to just, it's almost like I'm going to throw the bucket of stuff happening in my life over my shoulder. Let it go. And feel connected to the earth. Feel grounded. One more time. And back to the center. Coming into our neutral pose. And resting with our hands on the dantian. Taking notice of how you feel. Any shifts or changes. And release. Metal element, we talked about our lung 1, lung 2, acupressure that, or nice stretching of the meridian. The Qigong movement for that is similar a little bit to our fire element where we step out. This time our palms come up. Fire element, our pinkies came together. Metal element, our palms just come up, come behind us. And then as they come around to the front by the chest, we just bend our knees a little bit and imagine that we're pushing out. And then we step back in. And then we step out, palms up. And push out. Good. So again, just moving with your energy, your body, your chi, seeing how this movement feels in your body. For me, I like this one. I like to feel the energy of that push. It feels good to me. See how it feels for you. The lung and large intestine, the metal element in Chinese medicine is associated with the autumn, with the fall. And emotionally, it has to do with grief. So the opposite of that grief, it's not joy like the heart element. It's more of a feeling of, well, grief is an interesting topic, right? Grief is different for everybody and manifests in so many different ways. But in Chinese medicine, the opposite of grief, it wouldn't be joy, but it's more of a feeling of, I'm okay. You know, I'm going to have sad days and I'm going to have some good days, but it's that feeling of almost like you're working through that grief, that you're feeling it and being okay with it. The large intestine has to do with letting go of or holding on to. Right? So it's more of that process of how to hold on and let go than anything. Let's take one more sweep. And come back to the center. Release your hands down to the dantian, left and right on top. Notice how you feel in your body. So we've practiced wood, fire, earth, metal. The last element is our water. And again, that's the back of the body. And so for our water, I know these all seem kind of the same. We're stepping left and right, but it's just the very basic 5 element. We're going to step out again, and then we're going to squat down a little bit first, and then slide our hands back up until we get to our kidneys, and then we're going to tap our kidneys, and then we're going to release our hands, step back in, step back out, squat first, slide up, tap, step back in, step back out, little squat, slide up, tap, and back again. So the water element in Chinese medicine is the winter. It's a time of introspection, going inward, hibernation, but it's not like we're not doing anything. Winter is like a preparation time. You know, we're thinking about what we're going to plant in the spring. We're thinking about projects that we want to get going, a movement we want to start, habits we want to change. So the winter is not really a total time like we think of the bear going in to the cave and sleeping the whole time, right? It really does have a lot to do with some introspection. And the emotions with the water element, out of balance is fear, feeling fearful, feeling afraid. But the opposite for me is not feeling unafraid. The opposite is feeling willing, having a willingness to not be afraid, a willingness to change. So that's for me the opposite of fear. Some people like to say faith is an opposite, having faith is in something, that something's going to change. But for me, it's just having willingness. That can be hard enough on some days. Last time, and come back to our center. Deep breath in and out. Let go of that. Notice it in your body. And do one more water element pose because I really like the bear turns, it's called. And it kind of shows how little movement we're making. It's that energy that the bear conserves in the wintertime. So for me, I'm going to start with my legs pretty wide apart and come into a deep horse stance. So our horse stance, if you are choosing to do that, it's not sticking your glutes out. It's kind of just dropping straight down your hips over the heels. So you're welcome to give that a try. And for bear turns, our hands come up like we're holding 2 plates on each hand. So from here, all we do is with our exhale, just turn, come back to the center, and then turn to the other side. So it's not a big movement, but you might find in your body, it's not an easy movement, right? We're not making a big movement, we're conserving our energy, but you can really feel the movement that you're making. You can feel it in your body. It really works with the kidneys in the back, the low back, getting that little bit of twist in. Bear turns. Beautiful. Let's just do 2 more. And then come back to the center, release your hands down, come back into your resting pose. Take a moment, feel grounded through the feet or whatever parts of your body are touching a surface. Notice if you can feel, sense, explore your body, notice any changes energetically. And the last movements we're going to make will be a little bit of a flow. So I like to, instead of coming up into just an upward salute, as they call it in yoga, I like to slowly float my hands up and turn my palms and reach overhead, and then out to the side. And then draw the backs of my hands up to the heart, where I like to make a little lotus shape, like a little flower shape, and then reach up. And then I come into a slight back bend, bend my knees, and then come forward. Press into your feet and slowly roll back up to a standing position. Let's do that again together. Inhaling if you want to. I always start with an in breath. Backs of the hands come together, come up to the heart, flip the hands, and then come overhead. And then slowly bend the knees and float forward into a nice forward fold, and then press into your feet and roll up. Beautiful. So this last movement is going to take our fire element, our water element, metal, wood, and earth, and put it all together in this variation on our sun salute. So inhaling, start to bring the arms up, flip the palms at the chest and overhead, and then out to the sides. Backs of the hands come together, slide them up to the heart. And as you reach overhead, maybe come into a little bit of a chest opener, and then exhale and start to fold forward. Inhale, slide your hands to your knees, and then exhale, fold again. You can take your hands to the blocks if you wish. We're going to step back with our right foot at a 45-degree angle, and we're just going to press into our feet and come up into warrior with that L shaped in our fingers. Take a few breaths and a pause here, feeling the strength of your legs, the earth energy, feeling your arms and that metal energy, that metal element. And then just let that left hand come onto the left leg. And then reach overhead, opening the side body wood element. And then slowly flow back out. Pivoting on the right toes, take your hands back to the blocks and step forward. Let the crown of your head reach towards the mat, press into your feet and roll up. Take your hands to the dantian. Pause. And then inhale, start to float your arms up again. Turn them at the chest and reach overhead, palms up. And then float your arms down the sides. Backs of the hands together, sweep up the center of the body. Flip the palms at the heart, reach up. And fold forward, bend the knees. Crown of the head to the mat. Slide the hands to the knees, coming into a flat back. And then back down, maybe hands to the blocks. Step back with the left foot 45 degrees. Press into your feet and rise up. L shape with the thumb and the index finger coming into our warrior. Pausing here, again, noticing the strength in your legs, the connection with the earth, the metal through the arms. And then let that right hand come onto the right leg. And then just reach overhead, opening the side body wood element. Notice how that feels in your body. And then from here, release that. Pivot on the left toes. Maybe take your hands to the blocks and step the left foot up. Crown of the head to the mat. Press into your feet, knees bent. Slowly roll up and roll the shoulders back. Take a nice deep breath here. Hands to the dantian. And let's do that one more time to each side, floating our arms up and out. Backs of the hands together to the heart. Reaching up and folding forward. Hands come to the knees. Take a nice breath here, maybe before you fold again. Step back with that right foot. Press into your feet and come up into warrior. L shape with the thumb and the index finger. Left hand comes to the left leg. Open into a nice little side angle, opening the side body wood element. Release that. Maybe roll the hands back to the blocks. Come onto your right toes and step the right foot back up. Crown of the head towards the mat. Knees slightly bent. Press into your feet. Roll up. Hands to the dantian. And last one. Inhale. Float the arms up. And over, out to the sides. Backs of the hands together to the heart and to the sky. Exhale, float down, crown of the head to the mat. And then hands come to the knees, coming in flat back before folding again. The left foot steps back at a 45-degree angle, pressing into your feet. L shape with the index and the thumb. Right hand comes to the knee, reach overhead, opening the side body. And then hands come to the blocks or the mat as you pivot on the left toes and step forward. Crown of the head last time to the mat, knees slightly bent. Press into your feet, roll up, shoulders back, hands to dantian. Pause here and just notice any changes. Notice your breath, your body, what's happening, how you feel. And then make your way into a comfortable pose for Shavasana. So come into on the mat, or you can come into seated pose on your chair. Allow whatever surface you are on to support you. think about the elements that we talked about. Notice if you can feel them in your body. What do they feel like to you? Can you connect with them or not? Do you notice changes or not? And how do you feel in this moment? Allow yourself to release to the surface that's supporting you a little more with each out breath. Know that your body is a perfect little world. Your seasons are just where they're supposed to be. Your chi is flowing just the way it's meant to be. As you continue to rest, again, note any place that maybe you have a bit more tension, tightness, or awareness. Use your breath. And maybe you can let it go. Now allow yourself to become a bit more aware of your surroundings. Maybe you choose to move your head a little bit, or your arms, or your legs. Maybe your breath changes. And then when you are ready, make your way into whatever position is comfortable to close class. It's been an honor to guide you in this practice today. I hope that you all have a beautiful day. Thank you.